Podcast, Season 3, Episode 7. We are on a road trip, as usual when we film our podcast.
As usual, coming from you from our car.
Seems to be the only place we film podcasts. And we are going to talk about self-esteem and the lifestyle, good and bad.
All right, so... Oh, yeah.
We're on a road trip. Thank you for checking out the Impulsive Duo podcast. Remember, our content is 18 and over. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And we're passing a lot of the fires where the fires were in Idaho.
You can still see some of the smoke smoldering. So self-esteem in the lifestyle, good and bad. So how has it affected you? Let's get the nasty out of the way. How has it affected you negatively?
So you think that it's, I don't know. So I guess when you meet people and nothing becomes of it, like they don't ask you to play, or you don't feel like people are making an effort for you, or you're just not having the experiences that you were hoping to happen, or hoping to have in the lifestyle. And so of course you could be a little bit hard on yourself. You could be like, oh, is it me? Do they not find me attractive? Do they, not want to play with me for a certain reason? Was it my personality? So it can kind of start to get into your head when this continually happens.
No, it does. And then you're also, you're excited to go out and meet these people, and then all you do is talk, and you're like, why didn't they, flirt with me? Or why didn't we bring up playing at all? Did they just want to pick our brains, or...
Well, and that seems to happen to Eric and I. I think, we're in a little bit different of a situation. People that put themselves out there on social media and consider themselves educators, or, we share our experiences in the lifestyle. People a lot of times do. They just want to pick our brain. They're new. They're not quite sure what they want. And so we get a lot of people who have just become friends for that reason. And it never goes any further. And so I'm and then, you get together with people and they're talking either about other experiences, they're talking about other couples they've met, or you all have mutual friends, because, when you live in a small town, we decided it becomes incestual.
It kind of does. You're in a small town, and next thing you know, eventually everybody has almost played with everybody in one way, shape, or a form, yes.
So it can kind of become, and I think Eric and I were struggling with that both. I was having a really hard time a few weeks ago, because I kind of, we hadn't played for a while. We were busy, and, we were, traveling a lot and whatever. And so I kind of put myself back out there the past few weeks, and I was, on a lot of apps. Eric was even on some apps again, hey, let's get back in. Let's meet some new people. Let's rekindle some of these old conversations or relationships. And spend some time. We were kind of itching to play. You go through,
Yeah.
And it just wasn't happening. It was and the people wanted to meet us, and so people invited us to their house. And
yeah.
I mean, they had a cool bar in their backyard, and they wanted us, but we're okay, are they expecting to want to play? And
there's some prep that's the worst part too, is so if you're going over to somebody and you don't really quite, there's no bluntness there, so you don't know what anyone's intentions are.
Am I shaming? Am I
right.
Am I dressing, what am I doing? Am I supposed to get ready for that, or we're just going to chill and have a drink in the backyard?
Exactly. And I mean, it's not often that you invite strangers just over to your house, but
who knows? We wouldn't normally go to someone's house, but I'd kind of seen their stuff before, knew the company that he worked for, blah, blah, blah. So they sent us a photo of their cool bar that they had built in their backyard. It wasn't it sounds creepy, but if you know the situation, it wasn't as creepy.
Yeah, it wasn't creepy. It turned out not to be creepy.
Yeah, it wasn't creepy at all. They were very nice and cute. I probably would have, I think they like to kind of get to know people too, and as do we. We typically don't play on the first, so we weren't really sure what they were expecting.
Right.
But I don't know, I just feel and that has happened a few times, people that were new in the lifestyle and wanted to just kind of pick our brains. So we, last year, over the past, and then all of a sudden it's just we've become their vanilla friend.
Right. All of a sudden they're swingers, we're vanilla friends, and the worst part is it beats my self-esteem up, and I don't know about you, babe, but when they start telling about other people that they played with and how attractive and hot these people were and this hotness that they did, and you're that's cool. We're here hanging out with you. Do you just want to brag to us? Are we just not hot enough to play with?
Yeah, and or when you're hanging out with for instance, we've had this happen a couple times. You're hanging out with a guy, or a girl and a guy, a couple, and the guy the whole time is talking about other women.
Yes.
He's really sitting at a table with his beautiful wife and beautiful me. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? He's sitting at a table with two women and another guy, And all he's doing the whole time is talking about other women he sees, other women he wants to be with, other women, like our waitress, like, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
And it makes it feel really uncomfortable, and then it's like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah,
almost.
it does. I was feeling a little bit like, I don't know, there was, a couple times. And then we went to even out with some other friends, and they were telling us all about people they met, and it's like, and even mutual friends that we have that we've played with, that they have like kind of played with, or almost, just, I don't know. It just was kind of getting to that point where it was hurting my self-esteem a little bit.
No, it was. I could see it kind of beating you up, because it was like, the next thing you know, it's like that self-talk of like, well,
and then we went to a strip club, which didn't help. It's like, so here you are, all these like cute young strippers, like all cute and flirty, and this couple's talking to other people. All the guys are pouring out hot girls, and it's like, and my self-esteem I think was already kind of beat up at that point, and I was just like, okay, this probably wasn't the best place for me to come. Like, I know I'm never going to be some cute 21-year-old stripper again. That's fine. But it's like, I can be pretty confident, and I'm pretty confident with who I am. Is my body perfect? Absolutely not. But I'm going to be 40, and, like, I'm pretty confident with who I am as a person and whatever. But then I always tell Eric, I'm like, I'm really good, and then I go out in public.
Yeah. No, you.
And I'm like,
yeah.
And then I feel fat and unattractive and not comfortable. Like, it's so weird.
No, it is. And I
play confident on the internet.
And it is hard too, because then you go out with people and you think that you're like, wow, they are really attractive, or maybe they're even out of my league.
Or you go with people that you don't think are super attractive.
Yeah.
And they still don't want to play with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That one's
like,
that's even
fuck?
another one. Yes.
I'm like, not even that attracted to you, but like not attractive enough where like I wouldn't play with them, but it's not like I think they're out of my league.
Right.
And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, because no one's asking you to play.
But then later, the guy is sending text messages being like, oh, Candice, you looked really hot in that dress. Or, I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like,
right. And it just...
like, I don't understand.
Yeah, some people, it's just really hard to get to understand
Or
them.
it can be like, so we have some other friends who we met, over a year ago, and we become good friends, and they kind of took a break from the lifestyle for some like personal reason things, which was fine because we had just literally become like vanilla friends.
Yeah.
And Eric really connected with them over like
nerd stuff,
Pokemon, and just like, and it was fine. And they were kind of, taking a break, and that was totally cool. We just became honestly like friends with them.
And because there were no maintenance.
No,
there were no
easy
maintenance.
Friends.
Yeah.
Well, but then we had met with them in the beginning too, after we had met them at an event, and they wanted to pick our brain because they were starting about starting an OnlyFans, and we were like, okay, and they were talking about all this, and then like we left that like meeting with them, and they were like, I was like, so they don't want to make content with, like, I just was like,
what's wrong with us? Why don't they want to make content with us, or why don't they want to play with us?
Yeah, I was like, okay, like, do they not want to, like, they wanted to pick our brain, and we're talking about making content with other people, and Eric and I are sitting there with an OnlyFans, like, talking to him about it, and I was like, okay. So yeah, I could play in a little bit into your insecurities. But then, they took a break from the lifestyle for a while, whatever, fine, still friends with them. We've hung out several times, like, we've even met their kids at this point, like, had dinner at their house, like, we've just become friends. Well, I don't even know how.
Well, because we became friends and stuff, and then they got back into the lifestyle. They
decided, like, recently they were kind of jumping back in at kind of the same time we were making more of an effort. So we were having conversations. We were hanging out with them. They're like, oh, we actually met some couples, and we're like, us too. Like, and we were exchanging, like, the stories about the lifestyle and how stressful it can be. Oh, they're deer!
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of deers.
Sorry, we're
whole family of deer.
A deer crossing.
With lots of them crossing.
And then
we just we have a group chat, because we have group chats with everybody.
Yeah.
I messaged that group chat. I was like, hey, at one point we might need you guys to do a favor and like play with us and stuff like that.
I don't even remember how it just was like one of those things where like you just was that a baby-ish?
It is. Like I know I threw it out there where it was
Eric
little
did. He kind
over.
of just like threw in this like, well, we could all play, like it could be, something, and they were like,
yeah, it's not out of the question. I mean, you guys brought it up. We can explore that.
It was hard because we'd had the conversation like, hey, it's really nice that we didn't really cross that line, and we became just really good friends with you guys, and we just feel so comfortable with you. And I was like, yeah, like if there was, like absolutely. And then, And then, I don't know, the conversation got brought up. And
Yeah.
we're like, I mean, we could all play. It wouldn't, like, be the worst thing. And we're like, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we have a really strong, solid friendship, so...
And we're like, we won't make it weird.
Yeah.
Like, we'll play, and then we'll just go back to, like, how things were. And they're like, and everyone was like, hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we did.
We did, and it was fun.
And it was so fun. And it was not weird.
No.
It was so fun. It wouldn't even remotely ruin our friendship.
No, we literally were in the middle of playing a game, stopped the game.
Yeah, we were playing a game, and they were thinking, one of their kids might come home, so we were playing a game. Yeah, went back up. They're like, well, we should probably, if we're gonna do this, like, we should probably go do it, and then we can, like, finish the game after. And we're like, okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, you really start to respect people's kind of like bluntness and stuff like that. And it was like nice even because like she even stopped and she's like, hey, just because of the time, like if we want to play, we need to play right now because this is our time frame. And we're like, all right, and we just head right on upstairs and.
But yeah, and then we went and played, and then we went back down and finished the game, and there's no weirdness.
No.
None. And it was super fun.
It was a lot of fun, and the thing is it gives you more confidence.
And then there's my self-esteem. I'm like, oh, so they did find, and they're like, oh, we've always found you attractive. I was like, no, I just thought you guys didn't want to play with us. And they're like, what? No. They're like, we just figured like you guys weren't playing either. And like she was, they had
didn't want to play with us. Yeah.
And she's like, it just never really like we just kind of became friends, and like the topic just never came up. And so that definitely, I was like, oh, okay. So it wasn't that you weren't like attracted to us.
It wasn't that you found us hideous and you didn't want to play with us.
Oh my God, no.
It was other things.
Yeah. So, anyways, so that could do, yeah. So it could definitely play into like the insecurities, but sometimes someone just has to be blunt. And mine, it's almost like I'd rather at this point just like, hey, would you guys just be blunt and like bring up the conversation? I mean, if somebody says no, I think that's the biggest fear is rejection, and that can be bad on your self-esteem. But if your self-esteem's already shot because you think they don't want to play, like,
right.
might as well just get it out.
Might as well do it.
And they're not going to be like, no, we don't want to play with you because we think you're ugly. No one's going to say that to you.
No.
They're going to be like, oh, we're taking a break right now. Or they're going to come up with some kind of excuse, or like they're going to sugarcoat it, especially if they are friends. Like, these people are all our friends. They're not going to be like, no, thank you. I don't, like, they're not going to be rude.
Right.
So it's like we kind of just have to like throw it out there, and like,
and you also have to
be down to,
yeah, and you also have to remember, if people are going out with you and stuff for dinner and stuff, there is some sort of attraction. There is something, and it's hard because it's almost like you go out with this excitement, because we've done this with another couple we met, where we went out to dinner with them, really didn't expect to play. We didn't play that night, but then it was like, okay, what do we do? You know what I mean? And,
with last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so we just kind of threw it out there. I was like, well, I mean, we definitely think, we were like, you guys, we found you really attractive. They're like, we think you guys are super hot. We're like, cool, well, we're definitely down. We kind of threw it out there, and then we just eventually found another dinner date that worked. Are you a female 18 and over interested in lifestyle? Make sure to check out Unicorn Landing at unicornlanding.com or download the app in your favorite app store today. And
you just have
I was so brave, because she was like, well, what do you guys want to do? And I said, well, besides you guys, I was like, we can start with dinner if you guys want to do something. And she was like, LOL. She said something else, but she's like, well, obviously that.
And her wonderful text messaging ability.
Yeah, she's not a great texter. It's so funny because she has one of the best personalities. She is so bubbly.
She is
so fun.
Best. She has a great personality.
But she is the shittiest texter.
Yeah.
It's like does not like.
Text-wise, you're like, do you like me?
No, like community. Yeah, like text-wise, I'm like, I think she hates me. I don't think she's into this.
Yeah, I think she hates me.
Like it's like dry and like very, but in person she is like. But then she even her husband was like, she's the worst texter. Do not take it personally. She's like, oh yeah, I am. Don't ever call me an emergency. And I was like, okay, that makes me feel a lot better. I told her, I was like, yeah, you kind of are a shitty texter.
And they were a lot of fun too. And it was one of those that we had to kind of make a move. And we when we first met them, we thought, they were very attractive. She was stunning. And it was like, we met her at the Unicorn Landing event.
Yeah, we first met, yeah.
And we were like, dang. And
it's gotta build your confidence. When you've got a freaking hot ass girl that wants to hook up with both of you, like, you're like, oh.
No, and it doesn't.
That'll boost your confidence. So I was having a rough time with my confidence, and this week it's right back up there.
Yeah.
I'm feeling myself.
And it is.
Feeling like hot shit.
And you have a right to, because it is one of those, like, no matter how many times as your partner I look at you and tell you you're beautiful or you're hot, it's just like, yeah, thanks. And it's almost annoying.
Hot girl, you're between her legs. She grabs your hair. Did you hear her? She grabs your hair and she's like, "You're so fucking beautiful." I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh yeah, no, exactly. No, it's.
I mean, she could have just been in a moment, but you know, it was still the compliment was still.
Well, you don't say like you don't really bullshit people in the moment because you're not thinking hard enough to bullshit people. You know?
No, she wouldn't have said that.
No.
Well, and she wasn't even necessarily like, she's just more like bi-situational.
Yeah.
She even said like, I only play with girls, because we talked about our dynamics, different things like at dinner and whatever. She was like, oh no, I only ever play with girls really if I'm like super, you know, like I'm attracted
really
to them
attracted.
or like I feel like I'm feeling it.
Yeah, and she really doesn't do much. She'll let girls do stuff to her per se, but she doesn't do a whole lot back at girls.
Yeah, and I always tell girls that's fine, and I said, you know, I'll basically, with the whole like girl, because I will do the, you know, full swap and everything, but with the girl situation, I'll kind of follow their lead, because I let it know I'm very bi, obviously. Like, I like to go down on women, I like to kiss women, whatever. But I always will take the woman's lead. It's not whatever they're comfortable with, I'm okay with. I'm not like offended if they're like, oh, well, it's not really my thing. But if I'm like, I'll go down on you, you don't have to.
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
That's fine. Just that's what I like to do. That gets me off. So So it's for me.
There's a lot of things I've learned that get you off that I didn't realize get you off.
So it's selfish reasons for me that I like to do it. So yeah, so that'll boost your confidence. So yeah, so it can kill your confidence, but it can be good for your confidence. So
and the worst is when you just start to wallow in that misery almost, and then the worst is if you have low confidence and you stop talking to people and you just.
No, I literally went through like a couple days where I was like, fuck this, I'm taking a break, I'm done. Like, I was like, why am I doing this to myself? That was my other thing. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I'm confident. I have a beautiful life. I have a husband that adores me. I have great friends. I have, you know, a great family. Like, I don't need this validation. And so I was like having like a reality check with myself that I was like, if you're doing this because you are like all of a sudden struggling with like needing the validation, and I said, that's an unhealthy behavior. Because I've struggled with that over the years of like confidence level, you know, that girls struggle with. And I mean, I've talked to therapists about, you know, different things over the years, and it's like, if this is making me feel bad about myself, I should not be doing this. I need to take a step back from the lifestyle.
Yes.
So I really did. I kind of was like, I'm gonna not be putting in as much effort. I was like, I need somebody to make an effort for me. And I really did. I was like, I'm not gonna keep putting in an effort if I'm not feeling it in return. Well, what do you know?
No,
I stepped back, and guess what happened?
Exactly, and it also helps, I think, too, to just take the risk and put yourself out there, because that's the thing is, like, when you don't have self-confidence and stuff, you're not assertive, and you don't put yourself out there because you're already kind of like shattered inside a little bit. But then all of a sudden, when people are saying yes to you and they want to play with you and it's building you up inside, then all of a sudden it seems like everybody wants to play with you and is down to play with you because you're just asking them to all of a sudden, you know?
What are we doing right now?
We're going to we'll be with another couple.
We're driving to go make some OnlyFans content, which is not swinging. This is strictly work.
This is strictly work.
Which we have not made content in a really long time, and this couple reached out to us, and they're cute, and she's starting her page, and they're like, do you guys want to do like couple content? And we've never made full swap couple content. Right. And we were like, yeah, but they live 2 hours away up in the mountains, and we're like, yeah, we'll come to the mountains for the night. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. So there goes the confidence level again.
Yeah, and even this does, because anytime people are saying yes to playing with you, it just helps your confidence, and you feel, it's nice to feel attractive. And I will say, when your confidence level goes up, our bedroom life, our sex 100%. Goes up.
Like, when you're feeling good about your body, like, you're just more confident. You know, you want to be, you know, naked in front of your partner more. You're a little more spicy because you're like, look at me, or you're like, you're not as like feeling like I get kind of like in those moods where I'm like, oh, I feel fat, don't touch me. Right. Like, yeah.
But then all of a sudden we've been playing here a lot recently, and we've been having a lot of sex with, you know, ourselves too recently.
Yeah, because the excitement is high, and and your confidence levels. But the good side of the confidence level in the lifestyle is when other people besides your partner, are telling you you're attractive. Like, it can be really, really good for your confidence level. And I always tell people that, because they're like, oh, I struggle with body image issues. You know, I'm bigger than I want to be, or I don't like my boobs. Like, I freaking don't like my boobs. But when you have these experiences, you know, you go to events, you're on apps, so obviously someone swipes on you, obviously they're finding you attractive, or you're in groups or whatever. You're going to these events and people are talking to you or flirting with you, or a guy or girl says you're pretty, all of that. It's not your partner, like that's gonna, you're like, oh, people do. And then you see other people, like that's what I love, is I see other people who are just so confident, and I envy their confidence. Like all different body shapes, sizes, everything. And they're just out there like living their best life, like showing off, wearing lingerie they feel sexy in. And I'm like, and instead of, I mean, even if somebody you're not so attracted to, you're not like looking at me like, why are they wearing that? You're like, I'm always like, damn, I wish I was confident enough to wear something like that, because I am so self-conscious.
Yeah. And it's also funny too when you find some of these women that you think are really beautiful or whatever, or guys that are handsome and all this, and you start talking to them and you find out how self-conscious literally everybody is. And you're talking to them and they're picking themselves apart, and you're looking at them like, how could you say that? You're actually really beautiful, you're really good look. Like, how could you say that about yourself? And you don't even realize you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then it's funny because like I stress as a woman, like I was like, oh, I gotta be skinnier, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And then like I'm not even attracted to super skinny women.
Right, like, you like curves.
Yeah, I like healthy, nice looking curves. And like I like strong bodies, like with nice looking curves, like people who take care of themselves.
Right.
But I don't like super skinny, so I'm like, why am I so obsessed with being somebody that
you're not even attracted to?
Yeah, I think that's society. As women, we were raised in a diet culture. Like, I'm going to be 40, and anyone that's listening to this that's my age can attest that we were raised in a diet culture. Our mothers were always on diets. Everybody had to be skinny. And now we are moving a little bit more into strong is healthy. Strong is sexy. Like, thicker, stronger, healthy. We're eating. We're, lots of protein. Like, we're healthy people. But it's like that mindset is really hard to...
It's really hard to break. And it's really hard to... It's hard to break it where you're trying to be something that you're not even attracted to. But you think that that's what everyone else is attracted to, and maybe you're just like the oddball who isn't attracted to it.
But it's crazy because like even if I don't lose a ton of weight, like even if I work out really well for a couple weeks, even if you don't you don't physically see like much changes after that time, but like mentally, like I'm in such a better place mentally when I hit the gym, and I just feel less lazy, and I have a lot more confidence. So I tell people, I go to the gym, like eat healthier, eat things that make you feel good, get some exercise, and not because I gotta be skinny, I better get in my gym. It's just like mentally it puts me in such a better place. And I'm like, oh yeah, I feel a little tighter, or oh, I've been like taking care of my body, I've been working up a sweat. Like, taking care of your body is just
it's so much.
And cutting back on the drinking has been big for me, and cutting on my body like image issues, because I'm not as swollen and I'm not
and it even comes down to is like, I mean, like you said, when you are eating healthy and you're not eating all these, because I changed my whole diet up.
Yeah, Eric, speaking of, you guys, side note, is on like some crazy eating 6 meals a day, like cutting fat, working out with a trainer. He's getting ripped. His shoulders are like, he's gonna be ripped. I still don't see it, but no, I can tell you when you're like on me or like holding me, like I can just feel it in your back and your shoulders, like you're big.
The part that I like though is that I don't.
Testosterone, so his dick has been fucking rock hard.
It has been. I love my dick now. I've fallen in love with my dick.
So hard and like always ready to go lately, and I'm like, okay.
Yes, yay! Here you go. The thing is though too is like eating like healthier and stuff. You don't feel fat and gross because you're eating burgers and you're eating all these fries, and then you're just like what you eat really does hit you a little bit.
Yeah, when I don't eat greasy food, God, the worst is when you eat shit before playtime.
Yeah, and like even the couple last night, the couple that we played with last night.
We had hinted that we were gonna play last night, and so they were like, we all went to dinner, and they're like, but no eating big meal. They were like, we're not gonna eat a big meal. They like split something, and Eric and I got like a salad and like a little side, because we were like, nobody wanted to be. We're like, we'll have some more. They got some snacks. They're like, we can have some snacks after while we're playing the game. They're like, but we don't want to eat a big meal. And I was like, same.
And no, because you don't want to feel fat when you're having sex and like you're just naked.
Why can't like afternoon swinging be a thing? I feel skinny in the morning.
Morning swinging.
Morning swinging.
Come on over when we wake up and let's play.
Breakfast swingers. So
exactly.
We should, like, make that a thing. Because that's when you feel skinny. You have, like, you play early in the afternoon, and then you can go out and, like, kind of binge and have a good time. But even, like, us, like, I like to play before we go out. If you and I are going out, like, I like to play earlier in the day or before we go out. And then we got it out of the way. We go out to dinner, and then we don't have to feel rushed to do it once we feel tired or bloated or as the night goes on.
No.
And it's like, you feel like you already did, and you're not like, oh, we didn't, you know.
Oh, and that's the hardest thing too, is because even with your own partner, like our
friends call it. They call it something.
Yeah, like they call it, I forgot what they called it, because it is true. It's like, even with your own partner, sometimes you don't feel attractive at night and stuff, and
no, after you eat a big like meal and you guys go out, then you come home, you're like, I just want to lay in bed.
Yeah, you're tired. You ate too much or whatever, and so it makes a huge difference just to you and your partner, if you want to have sex in the middle of the day if you can, or before you go out and you put all this food in your stomach.
Yeah, 100%.
And you feel more attractive because you don't feel bloated.
Speaking of, I feel really bloated right now. I don't know what's wrong with my stomach. I think it was those eggs and onions and peppers you made for lunch. I'm not supposed to eat onions and peppers.
Oh, that's true.
And I didn't have my stuff to digest it. I do the FODMAP diet thing. So yeah, see, gotta know what you can eat too. There's certain things I gotta stay away from.
Exactly, and we have to, and we're shooting tonight, so we'll just lay you flat down.
I have to lay flat.
Lay flat.
No standing.
No standing. Just sit there and take it.
Sit there and take it. I brought a couple outfits to wear that are like teddy things to like cover my belly.
And hey, you got a really big compliment last night too, that you give amazing head. She gives amazing blowjobs.
Apparently.
I've told her that she does. I told her that
but it comes from nothing. It doesn't mean it. I don't.
Yeah.
Think you're like telling the truth when you say it.
Exactly. So
I don't do it that often to you.
No. So when another guy is telling you that you give like really good head, you obviously do.
Yeah, and then the girl was upset that she didn't get to give you head, and she was like,
I want to gag on it.
Yeah, she was like, I really want to gag on it. Or we're like, guess we'll have to play again.
Guess we'll have to do it again. Oh no, shoot.
Okay, so that's good for your confidence level when you get text messages too the next day, and they're like, oh, we had so much fun, like we definitely want to play again, like that was so hot, like it wasn't like, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't like you get a text message the next day and you're just like, hey, that was, hope you guys are doing good or whatever.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
talk to you again.
Talk to you soon. Stay out of trouble.
Yeah, like when people actually want to play with you again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Eric and I went from not playing for a while to like back to back. We're tired. And we have some friends coming from Oregon next week, and we're going up to northern Idaho.
That's how we're playing. And people always will ask, do you guys play a lot?
Yeah, then people ask us what our how often do you play?
Yeah.
We'll be like, well, we'll go 6 months without it, and then we'll play with like 3 people in 1 month. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we go through these spurts, and we really are like, and you can kind of feel it changing. Like for us, when we first start playing with somebody, we'll play with somebody and we're like on this high, and you start doing it more, and it's like a bunch almost back to back. And
we're like on this high, and then we'll fill our bucket.
Yeah, and then you kind of like crash, and you're just like, okay, I'm kind of over this. Like, let's go do this now.
Yeah, we filled our bucket, and now I think we'll probably take a break for a little while.
Yeah.
Or not like make much of an effort. Like we won't like blow people off. Like people won't bite us out or whatever. But
if people want to have sex, we'll have sex. I mean.
Yeah, we're not gonna like if they're people we want to.
Yeah, exactly.
But also like for me, it's like okay, I kind of need to take a break. Like I like to get tested.
Yep.
Obviously and it's hard if you play back to back. It's hard to get tested between play partners. I mean that's why you use protection, but it's hard to like. Yeah.
No, it's hard to get tested. It's also hard because it distracts you from life too. And like you start to watch your like to-do list and stuff.
Well, you're adding it to your to-do list. It's
yes.
Like, my week is so crazy, but then it's like, oh, I got a date Friday night.
Right, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, I lose
we're
this
driving
night
2 hours.
To do this.
Like I had a lot of shit I needed to do today and this week, and I freaking need to do laundry. But no, what am I doing? Driving to the mountain.
No, same here. Like I have no more YouTube videos on one of my channels. I literally had to make a thumbnail real quick before we left for the one. Yeah. And I was like, I don't have Sunday night to do it or Sunday to do it.
Yeah, or Sunday night. So you start to pack it in. But this hopefully will be a good moneymaker. We're almost done paying off the app, and we just hadn't made any new content in a while. And we're not going to continue to do OnlyFans like forever. It's definitely not like a big focus of ours, but these people had asked, and we're like, okay, let's do like another big push with like a new video.
Yeah, because we haven't released a new OnlyFans video in a while.
Yeah, pay off the rest of the app, and then from there we'll kind of just like ride it out for a little while. But it's definitely not something we want to do. Like make a big.
Hey listeners, if you're part of the lifestyle, you know how important it is to stay informed and keep safe. That's why we're thrilled to introduce to you our partnership with Shameless Care, an online company designed specifically for the consensual non-monogamy community. Shameless Care offers at-home STI testing and ED meds. Their incredible online services come with board-certified physicians, making it both convenient and comprehensive. Head over to shamelesskare.com/theimpulsiveduo to learn more and take charge of your health today.
Priority.
Well, no, because it's also not what we're about.
Really
It's not really swinging to us when it's ring lights and lights are all turned on.
No, I still have the lights down a little bit low today. I feel gross.
All right.
See, self-esteem.
All the same.
But that's the other thing too. If your self-esteem's kind of low, just turn the lights down low.
Turn the lights down low.
low.
And get a little dimmer.
Well, I don't like big bold lights when you're doing it anyways. It's a little more fun when it's like,
Well, that was fun.
So self-esteem, good, bad.
The ugly.
If you find
it's good.
If you find it being bad for your self-esteem, maybe take a break, reevaluate, take a step back. But yeah, it definitely has its upsides too.
Yes, it does.
Thank you for checking out our podcast. Head over to theimpulsiveduo.com for more information and more resources, and stay tuned for our next episode.